Okay, everyone. So, good day. And for our continuation of the Godot learning journey, I wasn't able to work on this in the past few months, but I just want to continue learning Godot this year. By the way, Happy New Year. And right now, we can fire shurikens and we can kill enemies. However, we are not able to, if I go here, we're not dying, right? We should be dying once we go and uh, touch an enemy. So, I think the next thing that we would want to work on for our goal in learning Godot will be to how do we get to handle collisions. So I've been doing some exploration already. So let's say I would want to set up a handle collision. And in here, we want to, in our player script, let's go back to the player GD. We have our physics process delta. I want to check for collisions here. So check for collisions. And we want to have some sort of a way. Let's should we create a region for this? I think so. We can try to create a region here, and let's have an end region. Okay, so at least we can easily go and close that. So what do we want to do here? We want to handle the collisions. So we can create a function, and then let's have a handle collision method or function. So you can call this whichever you want. So let's say handle enemy collision or anything. But let's first start to try this out. We'll be using a for collision in get slide collision underscore count. And so this is customized, and this one is built in. Just to clarify some things there. Collision information, and we just declare the variable, and then we want to go and get slide. I think that's get slide collision, and we want to use this one in here. And then we want to declare another variable that we will call collider. And we want to now get this so that I won't make a mistake. Oh, sorry. Variable collider, send the value of collision information. And we want to access the property of a get collider method. Okay. And then, so I think that's the func handle collision. I'm just going to say collisions. Then in here, I'm going to have an if collider dot is in group, which we learned how to create a group in our, and I named that enemies. If you recall, if we go to our enemy node here, we have created a group that is named enemies and we're referencing them. So let's talk more about that later on. So we have handle collisions. For collision in get slide collision count, then we're declaring a variable that we name collision information. We're referencing this parameter, or we're inserting this for keyword, and we have this name being added as a parameter. So we want to have a handle. Let's create another function here, and we'll say handle enemies collision. And let's add a parameter enemy. And I think we need to adjust this. That's why there's a problem there. So adjustment. Godot's a bit, or VDScript's a bit strict with the spacing. And we have enemies collision enemy, handle enemies, and we want to just print out something. Collide with enemy, and let's say enemies. And then we want to get enemies that name just to check if this will work. And of course, we need to adjust this also. And we want to have a hue free method called, this will just be removing the player. I can type correctly. There's a parse error here. What's that? Handle enemies. So that's because we haven't added here a part from our handle enemies collision. But we want to pass in a parameter of collider. Handle enemies print. I think we will need to adjust this. And see that? Where did I make a mistake here? Enemy print. The enemy collided and we have enemies, or sorry, this should be enemy, that name. Okay. So what are we expecting right now? Let me just clear that and let's play. Now we should be able to find, if we try to play, so we can still fire the shuriken. We are seeing the console log there. And then if we go here and we can still kill the enemy. Okay, we're good with that. Now let's go and get killed by the end. We just jump up and in here, there's no collision happening. Why is that? So let me just check. Enemies collision. Enemies handle collision. We are calling the colliders. We're getting the collision information. Get slide collision. Collision. And the count. What did I miss here? Let's see. Handle collisions. And I think we haven't yet called the function. That's why that's happening. And we have to call that method. Let's go back. Or the function we just created. Now let's go and I think we'll need to add some more features. But for now, I just want to see that the player gets killed. Okay. So the player does get killed and collided with enemy one. That means that's enemy one that we got collided with. Okay, so we were able to set up a way for removing the player and having a collision. So some things to take note of, we need to make sure that the layer mask for the collision for the player and our enemy should be the same. Just to have that as something to take note of. Because if we try to change a layer mask, let's see if I go change the layer mask, what would happen? Just to explore some things here. Layer, let's have this one. What would happen if we do that? Just to see what, and what would happen? You would see it's no longer colliding, right? So it has to be you, in the layer where the player is should also be the layer mask. I think this is similar with Unity when it comes to a function, part of the settings of Unity from where you have to set the enemy, the objects, different objects that, let's say, bullets can go through, okay, or get to collide with, over the environment, and objects that can be destroyed over objects that are fixed and will not be destroyed by a bullet, for example. So just as a final test, let me just go test out what would happen if we have our layer mask for the enemy set up in number two. What would happen? Let's see. You would see that the enemy can actually go through the ground and we're not colliding. So you have to make sure that the collision, layer is same with the enemy. Okay, so it's not colliding there. But if we go through here, we get to die. So if we go back here, we still get that, message. And I think that's it for this video for now. And thank you and a happy new year again.